Welcome to the Rush to Resolution podcast, the show for startups looking to transform their customer experience. Whether you're a founder unsure where to begin or customer support professional searching for fresh solutions, you're in the right place. Each short episode is packed with actionable insights to help you address challenges and implement changes this week. You can catch the show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or at rushtoresolution.com. All right, let's get started. So this is the second episode in a series called It Takes a Team, where I'll be covering 8 essential skills for building a high-performing customer experience team. In a previous episode of this series, I discussed creating an inbound forecasting model, identifying ways to reduce support volume, and aligning with the company on hiring locations. So this episode builds on that one by diving into the roles to consider as you scale your team. I'll walk you through the specific positions and skills that I wish somebody had told me about 10 years ago, and it would have saved me so much time. And at the end, I'll share with you the most critical first steps to take when you're building a team, whether you're an early stage startup or a rapid growth company. Also, this series is going to be more of a visual experience. So if you're listening to this podcast on the train, in the car, on a walk, you can always go to rushtoresolution.com/blog to see the visuals you missed. Okay, so I'm going to start with a story from my time at Frame.io. As the customer base doubled every 6 months, I had to quickly scale the support team to keep up while making smart, intentional choices with limited resources. So first, we needed 24/7 support because the sales team was closing large enterprise deals, and I needed to figure out when and where I needed more team members, and the current support team was already over their capacity in customer support conversations. Second, our budget was limited. What support team isn't limited? We didn't have the budget to hire that many different roles, so I had to start getting creative. Third, I needed help with operational roles like managing analytics, the knowledge base, conversation quality assurance, internal processes, bug tickets, voice of the customer, internal enablement. The list goes on. I was handling all of those roles while managing the team that was also in the queue. So we'll talk through all of that. We hit a major challenge. We needed to support customers 24/7 within a month, but hiring overnight shifts in-house wasn't feasible. The current customer support team was already in 3 cities, Dublin, New York, and Los Angeles. To meet our SLA requirements, I made the decision to partner with a business processing outsourcing company, a BPO, and it was based in the Philippines. With just 5 team members over there handling the tier 1 inquiries, like informational responses or simpler actions, we were able to achieve 24/7 coverage without adding those overnight shifts, even over there at the BPO. So any time zone, everybody was working on normal hours. The results were transformative. The in-house team could focus on higher level issues, and also customer satisfaction improved significantly. It also gave us breathing room to start scaling our processes and our tools. So the assistance from the BPO alleviated the rest of the team to be able to spend 20% of their time, each person's time, in operations. So each support specialist's role changed from solely reactive responses to include operational ownership. I no longer wrote every article in the knowledge base, trained new hires through their 90-day onboarding, hosted the webinars or created tutorial videos or pulled weekly metrics to analyze the data or conducted QA on our agents' responses to customers, or even directly managed every person in customer support. Our team did it collectively, the ones that were in the queue. Delegating operational ownership not only builds team members' skill sets, but also fosters a stronger, more cohesive team culture. CX leaders in early startups that develop every process might have trouble delegating their baby. If somebody spent 6 months crafting a very specific process, understand that it can be difficult to pass ownership to somebody else, but it's going to be the only way to scale operations. I'm speaking to you, early stage CX leader. What can you delegate to your team members that you're tightly holding on to? You have to delegate the work if you want to grow as an organization. So at Frame.io, I deeply understood the video post-production workflow from the CEO. He coached me on his method of delivering the Frame.io product's value while matching it with the customer's workflow. His storytelling ability is incredible, and I felt since I was coached by him, it would be difficult to delegate webinars to somebody else, but I knew it was time. I couldn't take that on anymore. I'll say it out loud. I went overboard on micromanaging the handoff. Who else has done this? I wrote a script that I wanted him to follow 100%. I also wrote comments on the side explaining things like how long pauses should be before the specific aha moment catches up to our customers, and then they could move on, so that it would allow the information to kind of sink in before moving on to the next feature. I had it so micromanaged that the person taking over webinars was sweating bullets. Like, he literally was sweating through his shirt while he was trying to present to me because I made it difficult for him to actually achieve what I had asked him to do. I didn't make it easy, and he was incredibly nervous to present to me how he would be hosting webinars moving forward. Today, he's in front of cameras every day, hosting webinars, creating impactful content, surpassing anything that I showed him, and now I have plenty to learn from him. It's important that you empower your team to own processes without micromanaging them. They may end up doing a better job than you. Go figure, right? A diverse skill set within your team enables seamless delegation of operational ownership across the customer experience. So now we're in the segment of the podcast that I wish somebody had shared with me about 10 years ago: the roles and skills to run an efficient, high-performing customer experience organization. When hiring support specialists, think beyond answering tickets. The real value comes from their ability to take ownership of operational tasks that improve the customer experience. If you're an early stage company, this is your cheat sheet to set yourself up for success. If you're a rapid growth company, start looking for these 8 skills and qualities on your current team. You may have some untapped skills on your team that you can start to coach and mentor. So I'm going to share 2 separate CX leadership roles that will likely be the same person at the startup level, and I'm going to define these roles for consideration when the organization grows to a point that it's time to expand the team. The first leadership role is the head of customer experience, or the head of CX. This role continually evaluates how the customer interacts with the entire company while they work directly with product, marketing, sales, engineering, and that head of CX develops cross-departmental processes. They drive the customer-centric focus in the company. They would develop the strategy to scale the organization and identify those proactive next steps. They are storytellers and manage the voice of customer for the entire company, while they also create the tone and the voice to answer the customers. So the skills needed for a head of CX are: they have a people-first approach. They have a customer-centric mindset. They can build a long-term strategy. They have excellent grammar and writing skills. They are relational, and also they have a great executive presence. And again, going back to it, if you're in a startup, this next role is going to probably be the same person. So this next leadership role is the head of customer support, the head of CS. The difference with this role is they are focused on support team operations. This means that they are developing and driving KPIs, expanding on those metrics or data points to measure, creating efficient internal processes, developing the staff prediction models as well as the conversation volume prediction models. And the skills needed for a head of CS are tactical, outcome-driven, data-driven, analytical, organized, detail-oriented, and kind of a get-ish-done kind of a person. So those are the leadership roles. And now I'm going to talk more about the operational roles, that if you have people answering customers, they're in the queue, consider these roles as something that they could do 20% of the time. Early stage startups generally wear all the hats. So if you're in CX leadership and you're handling the following roles, consider how you could delegate these tasks to other folks on your team. But Brett, we don't have enough bandwidth to cover the queue as it is. How can I move somebody to operations from the queue for a couple hours per day? So I covered this challenge in the last episode where I shared strategies for reducing your overall support volume. And if you haven't listened to it yet, definitely go check it out after this episode. So right now I'm going to share 7 operational roles that can be done in just a couple hours per day, or some cases per week, to make an incredible impact on your team. This can also develop into a perfect career trajectory for somebody operating full-time as the company grows. All right, the first role, knowledge specialists. I've covered this in other podcasts as well, but I'm going to cover it more in depth right now. Maintaining your internal and external knowledge is a big job. Likely this would require multiple people until this role can be hired full-time, because a knowledge specialist would ensure that the public knowledge base is well written with AI in mind. So this also requires cross-collaboration with product and engineering teams to ensure that updates and enhancements are well documented. So with this information, knowledge specialists update or create new support articles, macros, internal process documents, tutorial videos, and anywhere else that it's needed to update. So this also requires a function tracker, ensuring everywhere that a feature is referenced, it'll be updated. So our team used Airtable at the time, and we documented roughly 100 or more functions, and they linked to each of those components, the internal articles, the external articles, the macros, the videos. So if you chose one specific function, it would show you where everywhere that it was documented. So when that function changed, it was deprecated, it was updated, we knew where all had to be changed across the customer-facing and internal content. And the last point about knowledge specialists is they partner with product and marketing, ensuring that the company's tone and voice is being used too. It's a big role to maintain order in all the communication content while maintaining communications with the rest of the company. A knowledge specialist has a high attention to detail. They can simplify and clarify the most complex statements. They understand how to unravel internal jargon, and they have excellent communication and writing skills. So second is an AI architect, or some companies may call this a prompt engineer. They focus on the development of the AI agents, AI assistants, and AI analytics. Working alongside knowledge specialists, an AI architect would create solutions for the customers, for the employees, and uncover information in the metrics. So they develop and train the AI bots, A/B test it, measure those results, make adjustments, and continually repeat until you hit that specific AI resolution quantifiable rate that you want to hit. AI architects also comb through the unresolved responses to train bots and correct answers, or they'll work with knowledge specialists to write those customer responses. An AI architect loves to solve impossible problems and will make adjustments to see better results. They are analytical, they are highly results driven, and they love learning new things all of the time. So next on the list is the CX enablement. And as your team grows, the product team continuously launches new features. You need someone to handle CX enablement. So the head of CX will probably onboard each of the newest members, while this is something that can eventually be delegated. When our team expanded to the Philippines and later to India, training was constant and no longer manageable by me, not even by my managers. There was too many pieces in play, too many new folks that were coming in to be able to manage one person doing all of the training. So CX enablement creates onboarding courses to teach about the industry, the product, and the customer. They develop courses into digestible segments like week 1 training, 30 days total, 60 days, 90 days. They work with product to design courses on newest features being released and also how this change affects the customer's workflow. So I'm going to cover in a later podcast about how we developed a full company onboarding program. Every employee went through this week-long training to learn the workflows from the industry. They learned how the product solved the workflow gaps and also how our customers experienced the product. CX enablement role loves to teach. They have an incredible attention to detail. They enjoy coaching people from no experience to expert level, and they also want to document processes without being prompt. Next on the list is a CX analyst. Someone has to make sense of the data. A customer experience analyst uncovers the story with numbers. There's more to customer support than CSAT, first response time, NPS. Oftentimes the companies will have a data team which can act as the CX analyst, while someone in the CX department will need to know what to ask for and how to translate alongside with the data analyst. A support analyst maintains and finds gaps in the data structure, ensuring information is collected that shows the customer health, the agent assistance, AI resolutions, and also product indicators. They work alongside CX leaders to develop strategic metrics that are unique to your product, metrics that are unique to the support channels, and also even the customer segments too. They are able to convert data into interactive visualizations to boost the story told by the head of CX. A CX analyst thrives in a spreadsheet. They love solving problems by writing formulas, and they enjoy turning data into storytelling visualizations. Sixth on the list is a CX squad leader. So to explain a squad leader, I'm going to share another story. There were 4 product teams at Frame.io, which meant that if we created one voice of the customer, it was only 25% useful to each of the product managers. So I was meeting monthly with all of the product managers in one place, and there was so much information that we never got to it all. Also, I may have only been talking to 2 out of the 4 product managers about their product. We ended up assigning a CX squad leader to meet with the key stakeholders that made the decisions on each of those product teams. But these squads included CX, product, marketing, engineering, customer success. It included anybody that had to do with those particular products. The CX liaisons created squads around the specific product teams and had a very productive agenda. An example would be the iOS squad. A liaison from CS would gather data and direct customer feedback around iOS bugs, iOS feature requests, confusions, issues, and so on. And then members from product, design, engineering, they would hear the voice of the customer every month that CX brought into the conversation. So here's what a CX squad leader would do. They would work with data or CX analysts to gather tagged conversations, turn it into useful feedback, and then develop slides to present the voice of the customer to the product team, to the squad team. They would schedule meetings with all of those necessary stakeholders, creating that squad and creating that rapport with them, gather squad feedback or data that would help drive the product, document upcoming feature releases that they're telling them about, connect with the knowledge specialist and the head of support on product enablement and documentation. And then, so who is a squad leader? A squad leader is a seasoned communicator. They're inquisitive. They are a product expert in their squad, and they seek outcomes for their squad. So last on the list is quality assurance leader or QA leader. And this QA leader would ensure the accuracy and quality of responses to customers while maintaining our tone and empathy that we want to use with customers. When the CSAT average or whatever you're using to grade your agents on, when it starts to slip for an employee, a QA leader would coach best practices. So some of the points that a QA leader does. The QA leader develops and maintains the conversation grading scale and internal documentation regarding quality. They review agents' conversations with customers or review AI-graded conversations, and then they provide feedback to those agents. They review feedback with their manager or director, and then also the coaching that they provided so that it can go into their one-on-ones as well. And the QA leader, who they are, they excel in communication skills. They know how to provide productive feedback. They are a team lead, senior, or manager that can coach proper tone and reasoning. Now I'm speaking to early stage startups. So for the early stage companies, you might not know how to hire the first person in customer support. That's fine. I'll share. Based on my experience, you need a tactical and empathetic person that proves they can manage their time efficiently, not get overwhelmed while managing different tasks at the same time. So this is going to be your head of support. They will build your processes and address your customers. Then you need queue busters ready to just answer a lot of customer questions. While that second hire, they should have a focus on being a knowledge specialist, ready to document and manage the internal and external knowledge. Third person on the team I would suggest would be an AI architect to work alongside the knowledge specialist in developing those AI tools, solving those informational questions. With these 3 positions in place, your head of support, your knowledge specialist, AI architect, your CX organization is positioned for high performance and low overhead. And now, talking to rapid growth companies, I'm sure this is a lot to digest. So let's break it down where you should start. I would suggest first conducting a gap analysis. Evaluate where your team is struggling. Are they overwhelmed by ticket volume? Are customers frustrated by slow response times? Where are the gaps? How could you address them? Second, list your top 5 biggest ROI moments. So for example, if your team spends a lot of time answering simple, repetitive questions, an AI chatbot could be a high impact investment. Third, prioritize hiring or optimizing for these roles. Even one strategic hire can make a huge difference in your team's efficiency and customer satisfaction. Building a global CX team doesn't have to be overwhelming. Start small, focus on the highest impact roles, and leverage tools like AI to support your team. As you grow, these foundational hires and systems will scale with you. Curious how you can apply this to your own team? Let's brainstorm together. Book a 30-minute call with me at rushtoresolution.com, and you'll leave with actionable next steps tailored to your startup. Thanks for tuning in to Rush to Resolution. Don't forget to subscribe for more episodes on transforming customer experience. Have a great day and a productive week. Bye, everyone.